Hi, everybody. I'm Tara Thomas-Gettman with LIFTu. Joining me are my trusted friends and coworkers, Alyssa Nolte and Jake Chaplin. Did I say that right, Jake?
You did. Yep.
Chaplin. We are so excited that you are checking out our weekly live stream because, especially on this week, we were reflecting on a really important topic, one of being grateful and how gratitude impacts us on the job. Interestingly, Alyssa, you came across a Harvard Business Review article that was speaking to this. Tell us what some of those findings were.
Yeah, a lot of times when we're thinking about business and what we're here to do. Businesses are here to make money, right? That's what everyone's focused on. But a lot of times people forget that there's the heart and soul inside of the business, and that's the employees. And there was a connection in a study done in 2013 between gratitude and employee happiness and health, and really intentionally showing gratitude not only to your employees but to your coworkers and to your peers and to your bosses, and really thinking with that gratitude mindset not only led to happy employees, which also led to happy customers, which is good for everyone involved.
That's such a great point. And another piece that was highlighted in that article, when I think some 2,000 workers were surveyed, everybody had their job very low on their list of things they're grateful for. And so I do think, unfortunately, especially in our American culture, there's this sense of the drudgery that comes with our jobs, and we don't always count it as a blessing or something we're grateful for. Jake, you're of a younger generation, and I know the stereotypes are that you guys are finding a better work-life balance than a lot of the older folks, which is a good thing. So talk about how gratitude plays into your life on the job.
Yeah, I think it's really important to see it as more than just a job. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to, go to work and build relationships and make connections, and also, make money. So for me, it was, really important that, I want to be able to support myself and support the people around me, but I don't want to, the saying is, I don't want to work until I die. I want to be able to live also. And so, yeah, constructing that positive work-life balance where I'm able to, disconnect from work, but also be grateful for the time that I do spend there. So I think it's about being intentional while you're there and making sure that, you're spending every moment, really building that positive, gratitude mindset, as Alyssa said. And I think, being able to be grateful for the time that you get to spend with your coworkers, and, doing the work that you hopefully like to do, it makes the work-life balance battle a lot easier.
Absolutely. Alyssa, I know as a team leader, you really try to incorporate gratitude in the sense that the structure even of weekly meetings includes personal check-ins and sharing something that goes beyond the professional sphere. Why do you think that's important to incorporate into sort of the weekly conversation with your coworkers?
I think it's all about remembering the human side of our work experience. I think there's this movement right now where people are saying, it's just a job. Don't give your whole life to it. And that I agree with that sentiment at its core. But at the same time, you're still a person, you still have a job, and you still want to make a difference. So building personal connections with your coworkers and getting to know them as people before you think about them as workers, I think is really important. Understanding, who's got a basketball tournament this weekend? How did they do? Cheering for your coworkers outside of work is a good thing. And having emotional connections with those people is a good thing as well.
Well said. If you're just joining us, this is Tara Thomas-Gettman. My coworkers, Alyssa Nolte and Jake Chaplin, are our guests this week on our LIFTu live stream. We're excited for this weekly opportunity every Wednesday, noon Pacific, 2:00 for those of us in the Midwest, to bring you a 30-minute live interview to check in on thought leaders that we work with through our company, Lift Innovate. And we should mention that we are an entirely remote company. So when we reflect on gratitude and how it impacts us on the job, it's a distinct experience in that we are completely virtual. So Jake, what are some ways you're pretty obviously new to the workforce and your experience has almost been entirely remote, at least with Lyft. So what are ways that gratitude is woven into the fabric of a virtual company, or at least should be?
Yeah, it's difficult because I did spend some time in an internship in an office, and you're not able to just get up from your desk and go to the coffee station and see a coworker and say, hey, how's it going? How's your day? When it's just me in my office, it's hard to look around and see nobody and think I wonder what everybody else is going through. I wonder what everybody else is going through in their lives. I think it's reaching out is important, especially it's hard because the tone is different on a messaging app like Teams or WebEx. It's hard to deliver that same tone of I care about you, I want to know what's going on. But doing that is important, and it's a really great thing to just randomly get a message from a coworker that says hey, I hope your weekend was great. What are you up to this week? How can I help? What's your workload like? That really makes a huge difference. And I think it, like Alyssa said, having happy employees and having, employees that are grateful for, what they're doing, it translates to their customer relationships as well. And I think that is a huge part of, how our company operates is, we have a really great remote culture and everything works so well together that I think our clients really see that.
Yeah. Talk about that a little more, Alyssa, how a happy client is really a reflection of happy employees. How does that correlation happen, especially when we're trying to translate gratitude through the remote connections?
I think translating that gratitude is really about being intentional with our approach, right? So as Jake mentioned, getting a message from a coworker asking, how was your weekend? What are you up to? What can I help you with? That's a choice that person made to send that message. They could also make the choice to focus on themselves and kind of go into their remote work life and not reach out to other people and wait for other people to reach out to them. So I think really making that choice to have a gratitude mindset is important because it is a choice to think about things of, yes, maybe I don't love today. Maybe I don't love my job today, but I'm going to make the choice to be grateful that I have one, that I can feed my family, that I can, put food on the table and pay my bills. But on the other side of it is that shows through in your interactions with your customers. If you are grateful, if you have a gratitude mindset, if you have an open mindset, if you're happy in your job and your career, you're going to have that come through for your customers. They're going to see you enjoying what you're doing, believing in the product, all of those things. People are drawn to that. So your customers are going to see you as a happy light, something that they want to be a part of. And that's going to shine through in your customer interactions.
Absolutely. One thing I know for me personally, especially coming from a world of trying to keep things as a communicator very condensed, I find that perhaps in the past, my emails and even my team messaging was probably more short and to the point. And one thing that I've really learned from my coworkers, especially the younger ones, is that they don't mind like adding the pleasantries and the thank yous and I really appreciate your time, into the language and the messaging. And it really does make a difference. So those are the minimal things you can do that don't take a lot of extra time, that really display and reflect an attitude of gratitude, especially when so much of our communication is rapid fire messaging and very little, if ever, in-person contact or engagement. Everything's obviously over our computers. So that does go a long way, I think, when your language can be infused with the phrases and the terms that show appreciation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that I've had to remind myself is that everybody is getting hit with a million things all at the same time. So, you're getting hit with notifications from Twitter, something from TikTok, someone just went live on Facebook, you just have an email, a message just came through, your kids ran in from school after school. And we have all of these distractions and all of these things that are taking our attention. And I'm asking this person for one more minute of their time in the millions of requests that they have for attention right now. And I have to be thankful if they give me that attention that I'm looking for, or whatever I'm asking for. Anything that they give back to me, they are taking away from something else that they could be doing, whether it's personal, whether it's social, whether it's work, all of those things. So we really want to think about the fact that anything that you're asking for, you should be grateful that they're giving it back to you.
That's
important.
Yeah, those are great points. If you're just joining us, this is LIFTu Live. I'm Tara, Alyssa, and Jake, our guests this week, as we talk about the really concept of gratitude as it applies to your professional life. And so much of us, especially going into the holidays, we know of so many situations where people have had, to pivot because companies are evolving, especially in the technology sector that we primarily focus on, and especially even with higher ed and how COVID has really changed the delivery of the way students are receiving an education. We support clients and customers across those sectors. And I think one thing that is definitely changing for all of us is really the need to be taskers, as Alyssa alluded to, because it's so common now that you wear many hats in one company. I mean, most people are not pigeonholed into one role. We are constantly collaborating across so many different areas of a company. And then similarly, as you guys described, we really want to be intentional about showing that appreciation, because there may be somebody I work with in, one project over the course of a month, and I might not have any contact with him or her for the next, 6 months. And so I really want to make sure that they remember me as being a pleasant person to work with, knowing that I may come in and out of their professional lives in a very short time.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok recently that talked about the number one skill you can have that makes you a great employee is being easy to work with. Has nothing to do with your technical knowledge, has nothing to do with your skill set. People want to work with people that are easy to work with. So thinking about how can you, build relationships and have experiences with other people that makes them think, hey, Jake is really easy to work with. I enjoy working with Jake. Like those kinds of reactions are really what you need in order to be successful. It's the number one way to get promoted, according to this creator on TikTok.
I love that. It's such great advice. And it's so true, because let's face it, the people that are easy to work with are the ones you gravitate to and hope that your projects lead to in future engagements, for sure.
Well, and think about those bosses that you've had back in the day who you would turn in work and then it would be, okay, thank you, and next. And there was never any appreciation for like the work that was done or recognition of the work that was put into it. I mean, we've all had bosses who never really recognized the effort that you put, even if it wasn't quite what they were looking for, even if they wanted it, tweaked or changed a little bit. The fact that you need to recognize that people have made an effort, that they have put in the time, and be grateful for that attempt that they made or that work that they've done is really important for people who are working. And I know that a lot of people have gratitude as one of their specific bucket fillers. So something that they taught my kindergartner is, what fills up other people's buckets? Is it recognition? Is it reward? Is it intrinsic self-motivation that they just have inside of them? There's all kinds of things that fill people's buckets. And for some people, it's just being thanked for their time and their effort and their expertise that really fills up their bucket.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least for me too, it goes the other way. Like I get something out of, being grateful for other people too. I think it feels really good to, to notice people, to make people feel acknowledged. I think that goes a long way. Even in the leadership positions that I've had in college and in, my short professional career, it was always a big value of mine to make sure that the people that are, doing things for me and helping me, know that I'm very grateful for that. And it shows, through their relationship with you and how they feel about the work that they're doing, especially when, the person that may sit above them on the corporate ladder is so grateful for them. I think that, it makes every day much more fun.
Yeah, I love that, because when I think about the memories I have, good and bad, across years of professional life, mostly in an office, the things you walk away with are how those people made you feel. I mean, yes, the money or opportunities are great, but you really remember when people were intentional about their connectedness to you and showing you that they value what you bring to the table, and they don't take it for granted, right? Because that's the biggest thing, is I think feeling like, especially in today's culture, that you're easily replaceable. And so getting that kind of stamp of approval goes so far in making you feel worthy and worth, showing up for, or turning your computer on every morning, in our case, working remotely. So as we close out our reflection on gratitude in the workplace, final thoughts, Alyssa, what is it that is driving you as we head into the holiday season, both personally and professionally?
So, what's driving me is just a desire to really do the cool next thing. So, for me, that's kind of what we specialize in at Lyft. We're trying to do all the cool next things. And so, I'm just grateful for an opportunity to work for a company every day where my contribution actually matters. I can see my impact in my actions every single day. And so, I'm just grateful to work for a company where I get to make a difference and kind of lead the charge of innovation.
Absolutely, Jake.
Yeah, Alyssa kind of took mine, but I was going to say, yeah, making a difference, not only in our clients' lives, but also in my coworkers' lives. If I can do one thing every day that makes somebody happier or brightens their day or lightens their workload, that's what really keeps me going, and I think that's what keeps other people going. So if that continuation can just keep going, and everybody can feel happy, and as we're moving into a very happy family time with the holidays. That's what really, gets me going.
Well, thanks to you both for joining us and sharing your reflections on gratitude. I'm Tara Thomas-Gettman, Alyssa Nolte, and Jake Chaplin, my cohorts and guests for this first LIFTu live stream. We hope you join us every Wednesday afternoon. Again, noon Pacific, 2:00 in the Midwest, and that'd be 3:00 for those East Coast residents. We hope you check in on all the insight we hope to share through so many of the clients that we're fortunate to work with at Lyft Innovate. If you'd like to learn more about our company, you can go to our website. It's liftinnovate.com. And we wish you all a wonderful holiday season. And thanks for tuning in and checking out LIFTu.